Every year I go on a quest of sorts to find the most comfortable sneaker out there. And this year, I think I found it. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and this is the most comfortable sneaker of 2024. For the past few years, I think it's fair to say that Nike has consistently created the most comfortable sneaker out there in the Invincible line. Pretty much every version of the Nike Invincibles, whether it was the 1, 2, or 3, was considered the most comfortable sneaker at one time. And at this point, I feel like I probably should define what I mean by comfort. By comfort, I mean the plushest, softest underfoot feel. Now, of course, everyone's different, so everyone's idea of comfort is going to be different, but I feel like the most commonly held view of comfort when it comes to shoes is the softest underfoot feel. Obviously, the upper of the shoe is also still very important. I mean, it's the whole top half of the shoe, so it's gotta be somewhat comfortable, but I think for most people, when they think of shoes that are comfortable, they think of a shoe that they can sort of sink into like a pillow. I totally get it though, if you don't like that sort of cushy, pillowy, cloud-like feel and you prefer a firmer ride, everyone prefers something different. So for some people, they like that softness. For other people, they like barefoot shoes, which I don't understand personally, but some people like them. So over the last 3 or so years, the Nike Invincible line has pretty consistently been the softest underfoot shoe that you could find, but not in 2024. This year, things have changed. Nike no longer holds the crown, and instead, it's New Balance. So a few weeks ago, I put out a video on the top 10 most comfortable sneakers of 2024. And for that video, I tried out like 20 plus pairs of sneakers to find which one was the most comfortable, narrowed them down to the top 10, and those are the sneakers that were on the list. And the number one shoe on that list is genuinely the softest underfoot shoe I've ever felt. Not including like purpose-built marathon running sneakers, but just general consumer grade sneakers, this shoe is the softest underfoot shoe I've ever worn. And if you've watched that video, you already know which shoe it is, New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel V4. Like I said, over the last couple years, the Nike Invincible run was it for me. I didn't think it could get much more comfortable than that, but it can. Not only is the Rebel V4 incredibly soft underfoot, but it's also $50 cheaper than the Nike Invincible run. It's the cheapest shoe on the entire top 10 list, and it's super lightweight. Now I should say this in case you're expecting some kind of running performance review. This is a running sneaker, and I have run in it, but this is not gonna be a running review. This is purely a lifestyle, wearing a super comfortable shoe style review, talking about how great it feels underfoot. If you're looking for more of a running performance style review, I would check out some of the other channels that have reviewed this sneaker. They do some great performance reviews on it, but this review is purely about how comfortable this shoe is, and if you're looking for insane comfort, why this shoe is the most comfortable shoe out there. But let's start things off with the price. This shoe comes in at a retail price of $139.99 or $140, which makes it one of the cheapest options when it comes to new max cushion running sneakers. I know 5-10 years ago, $140 sounds like a lot to pay for a pair of running sneakers, but nowadays, it's honestly kind of middle of the road and even lower end pricing. Insane. I get it, I totally understand it, but still, comparatively, great price. And actually, to literally compare it to the second most comfortable shoe that I've tried this year, the Invincible Run 3, this shoe is $190 and is not as comfortable as this shoe, at least in my opinion. And also in this blue colorway, I don't like the way that this shoe looks as much as this shoe, and it's more expensive. There are definitely colorways of the Invincible 3 that I like, but overall, I'd say that I actually prefer the design of the Rebel V4. And actually, if you want to grab a pair of the New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel V4s, I've made sure to leave a link through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. Not to spoil the review for you guys, you probably already guessed it at this point, but this shoe is awesome, definitely worth picking up. So value-wise, I've got to give this shoe an A, because right off the bat, the pricing is amazing, and once I talk more about how the shoe actually feels on foot, you're gonna be like, wow, that's a crazy price. But now let's talk about sizing and fit, and to do that, let's take them outside and try them on. All right, so it just rained, so I'm not actually gonna be trying the shoes on for the first time outside. I've actually been wearing these shoes for like a week and a half, and they feel amazing. But I really quick wanted to give you guys like some sizing advice, some fit advice, and also just generally a comfort overview. Sizing wise, these shoes do fit true to size, which is amazing. New Balance does actually offer wide versions of these shoes if you have wider feet, which is incredible. There's so many great options on New Balance's website for these shoes, and no matter what your foot shape is, there's an option on New Balance's website. This video is not sponsored, I just love the shoe. Comfort wise, man, it's ridiculous. The underfoot cushion is so soft. It's just like stupid soft. It's ridiculous. Like, look at that crease when you press down on it with your heel. In my opinion, it's softer than the Invincible Run 3s. I would say 10% soft, 20% soft. It's not like a night and day difference, but it's definitely softer. The upper is super breathable as well, which is great. You're not gonna have any overheating issues in this shoe, especially in summer. But yeah, getting back to sizing, I'd say true to size, you're good to go. If you have regular width feet, go with the standard sizing. I think even if you have wider feet, you could probably still go with the regular width sizing. If you have wide feet, you can also opt for the wide foot option. But yeah, overall, fit, A. Sizing, A. Probably the same thing. Comfort, A+, or A. I don't know if I'm doing pluses or minuses in this rating system, but A. But now let's dive into the materials that make up this crazy comfortable shoe. So pretty much the entire upper of the shoe is made up of meshes and synthetic materials. Apparently all of these overlays are no-sew overlays, which means that there's no stitching details that can kind of dig into your foot. It's all kind of heat pressed on or glued on or whatever it is that they do. And I will say the synthetic mesh or synthetic material that they use in the upper might not be as soft to the touch as something like Prime Knit, which is sort of a fabric knit. This is still very soft, it's incredibly breathable, and it's ridiculously lightweight. Like the shoe in general is incredibly lightweight, one because the foam is lightweight, but also because the materials used on the upper are so light. This shoe weighs in at around 7.5 ounces, at least in my size, which is incredibly light for a pair of sneakers, let alone running sneakers. And because of that, it really sort of melts into your foot when you're wearing it. It's so light. It just, I mean, it doesn't even feel like I'm holding anything. It's crazy. But even though the upper isn't like a fabric or anything like that, it still moves with your foot really well. You'd forget that it's even there. And because it's so thin, it's just like ridiculously breathable. It's amazing. Maybe not great for a rainy day. Your foot's definitely gonna get wet, but still, for a hot summer day, it's perfect. That mesh pretty much covers the entire upper. In the midfoot of the shoe, you've got some supports around the sides of your foot just to kind of lock your foot into place. You've got this giant New Balance logo, which in this colorway comes in a black and an orange. Then moving up in the shoe, you've got these flat laces that are relatively thin, but they don't slip. That's one issue that I've had with some thinner laces. They sometimes can slip when I'm wearing them and become untied. I haven't really had that issue with this shoe, which is a good thing. Underneath the laces, you've got this very thin tongue, which is not padded whatsoever, which is probably a good thing because if it was padded, although it might be a little bit softer on top of your foot, it wouldn't be breathable at all, and it also would sort of take away from that super light and airy feel of the upper. Around the top of the ankle collar, you do have some light padding around the heel. It's definitely less than other running sneakers in the same sort of category, but it does feel nice, and it does do a decent job of keeping your heel well padded. I will say that when I didn't completely lock down the laces, sometimes there would be some light heel slippage, but it wasn't anything serious, especially when wearing these shoes casually. It was really only if I went on a run, and even then it wasn't that much. Inside the shoe, you've got this neon green insole, at least for this colorway, with these perforated holes. You've got the fuel cell branding printed on the heel. It's very thin. It's very flexible, but it's not that big of a deal because your foot is pretty much directly on the midsole foam, so all the cushioning that you're getting is from the midsole and not from the insole, which is sometimes the case with some of these sneakers. Like the midsole will be kind of stiff, and then you get all the cushioning underfoot from your insole. So it's nice that you don't really need that with this shoe. Pretty minimal construction. I actually kind of dig it. It's very lightweight, very easy to wear. You forget that you're wearing it. It's awesome. Moving towards the back of the shoe, you've got your New Balance Rebel branding sort of heat pressed onto the heel, and then moving down on the sneaker, you get to the best part of the entire shoe, and that's this fuel cell midsole. Now, from the research that I've done on fuel cell foam, it's actually a combination of Piba foam and EVA foam, which creates a foam that's not only incredibly soft underfoot, but also very snappy and responsive. Meaning that not only is the shoe super soft underfoot, but it's also great and springy for runs, which I gotta say I noticed when running in this shoe. It felt really, really good. Now, I know I said I wasn't gonna do a running sneaker review on this shoe because a lot of people who did running sneaker reviews on this shoe, their videos are called, I ran 100 miles in my New Balance Fresh Foam whatever, fuel cell whatever. I didn't do that, but I did run twice in this shoe. It felt good, it was springy, and it's definitely the kind of shoe that you want to wear on more casual runs. Granted, I'm a casual runner in general, so this shoe is like perfect for me, but I would say that it's not the kind of shoe that you want to run in when you're trying to set new lap times. Again, casual runner, if any of my vocabulary is off about that, it's because I don't really run that much, so. All that being said, if you're just wearing this shoe casually, it is ridiculously comfortable underfoot. I like to call it stupid comfortable. This shoe is stupid comfortable underfoot. In addition to the foam being very soft underfoot, there's also a lot of foam underneath your foot, so there's a lot of room for compression, and it compresses a lot. It feels amazing. From what I can tell, I think it's literally just a slab of foam underneath your foot. There's no carbon fiber plate. Well, there's definitely no carbon fiber plate in there. You are literally just walking on foam and then a bit of rubber on the outsole. That's it. Again, if you don't like that plush underfoot feel, you probably haven't watched the video at this point, but you're not gonna like this shoe. That being said, if you do like it, this shoe's amazing. Now, over the last couple weeks, I've done a lot of personal testing of the most comfortable sneakers that I could possibly find, but I was still interested to know what other people thought of this shoe. So I took this shoe and the Invincible Run 3, last year's most comfortable shoe, to the apothecary office to try and get some people's opinions. Yo, us.
Oh, look, sorry.
I have the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn in this bag.
Huh, is it 3D printed?
No, it's not. It is literally the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn.
Oh, it looks comfortable. Wow, it's so light.
What I considered last year's most comfortable shoe, do you want to try them both on and see which one you actually think is more comfortable?
Sure. They feel like nothing in hand. There's no heel. You can't step into it.
No, you can't.
Because there's no structure on the heel.
How's it feel?
It's nice.
Like, would you say close to the most comfortable shoe you've ever put on?
I think so. And I wouldn't go wide, I feel like.
Well, you have regular width feet, right?
I thought I had wide feet.
Oh, which one is more comfortable to you, the Nike or the New Balance?
This one has more like structure on the inside.
Gotcha, the Nike?
Yeah, like I can feel the arch support. This is more comfortable.
The New Balance?
Yeah.
Okay, dope.
They're lighter. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing shoes.
Would you wear it every day, like if you needed a comfortable shoe?
I wouldn't, but I can understand why someone would.
Okay.
This is more comfortable than this. Feels like I'm wearing a sneaker. This feels like I'm almost barefoot a little bit.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but would you say this is the most comfortable shoe you've ever tried on?
I mean, it's possible. I would have to like...
Try on every shoe?
Yeah.
Do you think we'd have any good socks that would like match with this?
Electric lime.
That's close.
I think that's close enough.
That's actually dope. Okay.
Especially if you're running, you want to be high vis.
Got the high vis look on you? I'll make sure to link those in the shopping tab too if you guys want to check those out with the shoes.
How much are they?
$139.
That's not bad. How about these?
Those are 200 basically.
Yeah.
Or 190.
No, I would do these.
Yeah.
I would even like, now that like I'm not gonna buy it because I have too many shoes.
Right.
But like as like a shoe that you just want to put on, like a new beater,
I'm
or like a
with you on
travel
that.
shoe if you don't care what you look like.
True, true.
Like this is good.
I mean, if you're going for that sporty vibe, like you got your joggers on, like you're getting on an airplane with those.
Yeah, like an airport, like a walking
yeah.
shoe, or if you just want to pack one shoe, like going on a trip.
I like
But
them.
if you're trying to put together a fit, then maybe not.
Visually, I also really like what New Balance has done with the design of this midsole. It's very geometric. It's got these sort of faceted edges, which actually does a pretty decent job of hiding the creases on the midsole of this shoe. Because this foam is so soft, it's gonna crease no matter what you do. It's the same thing with the Nike Invincible 3s or Nike Invincible 2s. This style of super soft foam, no matter what brand it's from, is gonna crease. So it's nice to see that they did some things to kind of minimize the visual look of the creasing, which I like. And on this colorway in particular, I dig this sort of like flame paint stripe that they've got on the side. It's dope. They don't have it in the medial side, it's just on the lateral side, but it's a nice touch. And actually, the more that I look at it in like these studio lights, it kind of looks like a pixelated midsole. It's a cool effect. I really like the design of this shoe. It looks like a running sneaker. You're not gonna get like a shoe that's gonna turn any heads or break any necks, but it's a good looking shoe. Moving to the bottom of the shoe, you've got some rubber panels on the high wear areas of the shoe, like the outsides of the heel. You've got one running down the center, and then you've got some in the forefoot. They actually do a really good job of minimizing the wear on the foam on the bottom of the shoe. Maybe it's crazy of me to say this, but I'm not that worried about the durability of this foam on the outsole. I've also watched a couple of reviews where people ran hundreds of miles in these shoes and it seemed to be fine. So for normal day-to-day wear, I wouldn't worry about it. Traction-wise, it's actually raining today as I filmed this, and I was walking around earlier today just testing out the traction, and it was fine in the rain. Maybe not something I'd want to run in like soaking wet conditions because the upper of the shoe gets wet, but not bad. In my opinion, the New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel V4 is the most comfortable shoe that I've ever put on my feet. To clarify, I mean purely the underfoot comfort of this shoe. The upper of this shoe is very comfortable, it's very breathable, very light. It's definitely not the softest upper I've ever tried. It's also not a plush upper, but it pairs really well with this midsole and makes this just the kind of shoe that I want to throw on every day, no matter what I'm doing. I would absolutely recommend this shoe. Comfort, I give this shoe an A. Price, I give this shoe an A. Style, I give this shoe a solid B. I think it's a good looking shoe, but I don't think it's the prettiest shoe I've ever worn. So I personally would give this shoe an overall rating of an A. I think it's an excellent shoe. It's incredibly comfortable. It looks decent. The price is ridiculously cheap for what it is. You guys should definitely check it out again through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. But at this point in the video, I would love to know your thoughts on this shoe and whether you think it's the most comfortable shoe you've ever tried. Let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you all in the next one.